Rebecca Pettit.
I invite you all to join me in prayer. Holy God, thank you for this wonderful day and the gift of friendly competition. Help us to notice you, God, and all the goodness around us, which shines through in the bravery of the drivers, the hard work that's poured into making this day happen, and the passion of the crowd. Help us to truly notice and celebrate this moment of goodness and joy, which you have given to us as a gift. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from Bear, Delaware, singer-songwriter Jexa.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nothing scary about the day out there. Low 60s, sunny, beautiful day. Let's race. Adam, Joey, and Brad on the other side of the break.
NASCAR champions Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. So tell me, Joey, why do they call this place the Monster Mile?
Well, there's not one track that you feel the speed more than Dover. This track just has that feeling that you are hauling the mail for a few reasons. For one, you got a ton of banking, you are going really fast, but two, no room for error. You get loose, you start to spin out, you're going to hit something. That inside wall comes at you quick, and the banking brings you that way.
Yeah, you talk about no room for error, Joey. This monster will eat your car, and it'll eat it really fast. And it doesn't have to be your fault because the track is so narrow and so fast. When there's a wreck in front of you, and we've seen this time over time, where the cars just all pile in. So it's a really tough track.
Two drivers, top of the list, trying to tame the monster today. The G-Men, Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson. Combined, they've won 5 of the 9 races this year. What makes these two stand out, Joey?
Well, speed. They're fast. They're fast anywhere you go. They have speed, and they're aggressive. That's the other piece about these two drivers. They're not scared to ruffle some feathers. This is a place that can happen. People pack air on each other's spoiler. They get each other loose. You got to be aggressive. The pass cars here, it has a lot of opportunity for these drivers.
I just want to see these two duke it out for the win because you're right. They are so similar. It's going to be a heck of a show if they're battling on that last lap for the win, Adam.
I was going to say, both of them have duked it out, literally and figuratively, on track and off, but they've not done it with one another. Both starting inside the top 5 today. Perhaps today is the day. Oh, by the way, Joe Gibbs Racing, really good here. They got Brandon Jones on the pole, and they've won here 13 times. 2 of those courtesy of you. You know how good those Toyotas are.
Oh, they're definitely going to be fast here. Fast cars go fast at Dover. It just works like that.
All the storylines about to unfold at Dover. Let's go trackside now and get the command of Fire Engines.
Oh, yeah, Monster Mile. And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome the chairman of A-Game Beverages, 2-time World Series champion for the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, and 1994 Wilmington Blue Rocks champion, Johnny Damon.
It's time to bring your A game. Drivers, start your engines!
Johnny Damon always brought his A game, and he did today, giving the command. The drivers are ready to roll in Dover. The engines have fired. We're going green when we come back on FS1.
Okay. Ryan C. Joey Logano in the booth. You got me?
Right? 100 grand. We've got a fight. Oh, and there's a punch.
Couple good shots.
I mean, 100 grand on the line.
At that point, you got to start fighting.
$100,000 on the line. That's a lot of money.
This track will gobble you up.
Who tames the monster today? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, where names are made and rivalries are built. Here's the weather for today. Our Fox Weather app says 63 degrees. It is breezy, but a sunny afternoon in Dover, Delaware. Let's go from the driver's seat with one of our Dash for Cash drivers today, Ryan Sieg, out of Tucker, Georgia, having an unbelievable season. Who could forget the run he had with Ty Gibbs at Las Vegas? But a run of top 10 finishes have him in position to make the playoffs later this year. And fourth last week at Talladega, one of his better tracks. He's hoping for more of the same here this afternoon. He starts at the rear. Let's hear from him. Joey, hit the radio.
Absolutely. Let's talk to him. Ryan Sieg, Joey Logano up in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. Got you.
All right, man. Well, we've already noted you've had a great start of the season. You got a cool Hyundai on the line here today, but you got to start in the back. You broke a gear yesterday. How are you going to get back to the front?
Just drive through them. Be patiently aggressive. Just got to let everybody get settled in for a couple laps and then work our way through the field with our fast A game forward. It was good practice, so I'm not too worried. I'm pretty confident. We made the right adjustments prior to coming here, so I feel like we shouldn't take too long to get to the front.
Copy that. Well, 200 laps goes by pretty quick here, man. Have a good one.
All righty, man. Thank you.
We told you Sieg starting in the back. Scoring pylon has our starting lineup, and you will see there that Justin Allgire rolls in the 7th position. This has been an unbelievable track for him, but the reality is things have not been good lately. 31 races since he last went to victory lane. Darlington last year, a lot of runner-ups there. A great deal of success with the top 5s in the laps led, but he needs to get off the snide, and he's coming to a perfect place to turn it around. With that, we check in with our pit reporters, Regan Smith and Jamie Little. Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon, Adam. Yes, you saw the graphic there. I mean, he's on this long winless streak, but for Justin Allgire, it has been a painful month, whether it's mechanical issues, crashes, a fuel pickup issue last week at Talladega. He wants to forget about it. As you mentioned, this place, he has more wins, more top 5s, more laps led than the entire rest of the field combined. I just talked to Justin. He's got a pep in his step. He's ready to end that winless streak here today. Regan.
Well, Jamie, you mentioned a painful month for Justin Allgire, perhaps a painful day for Daniel Hemrick. Found out before the race, Daniel is racing today with a broken bone in his right foot. Talladega crash in the Cup car 1 week ago. Big impact. Has a broken bone that has given him a little bit of headache right now, a little bit difficult with the foot on the pedal. He's wearing a different shoe today with a carbon fiber sole on the bottom and a carbon fiber insert in that shoe to try and help him out. But keep an eye, he will be playing through the pain when he starts in 17th today.
Yeah, doing double duty last weekend in Talladega. The crash happened in the Cup race on Sunday. Here's a guy that's our reigning champ. And quite honestly, just can't seem to get things going, changing teams from Joe Gibbs Racing and moving over to Colleague to drive that 11 car.
Yeah, sitting 12th in points. He's on the playoff cutout line. Little ways to go until the playoffs start, but still, to your point, not the season start he'd like to have. But if there's anything we learned from Daniel Hemrick last year, it doesn't matter till the end. Won his first and only race in the season, and the last race going for the championship, and that's when it counts.
And it's an uphill battle. A broken foot is bad. At Dover is probably even worse. This is one of the most physically demanding racetracks we go to as a race car driver. You're bouncing around in there a lot. The banking is so high and so steep and aggressive that you got to push hard. And this is one of those races, Brad, that I get out. I'm like, whew, yes. I'm shot.
My neck's tired after this race, no doubt.
Hemrick on row 9 with his teammate Landon Castle, rolling 10th today. Anthony Alfredo in the 23.
A lot of patience today, man. We got the track position here early, which is good, important. Try to hang on to it all day and go forward. Yes, sir. Be updated on when guys start moving around and what's working, what's not working. Yes, sir. I will.
Rick Corelli, Pat Trison. It's a veteran team to help him there with Anthony Alfredo.
And Alfredo's really done a nice job moving over to Our Motorsports full-time this year. Our onboard cameras, here's Ryan Sieg. It's the Drive for Autism onboard camera. Raja Caruth making his second career start, driving for Tommy Joe Martins. Great in qualifying yesterday. The youngster out of Washington D starts 15th. That's our circle on board. And the Ford on board carried by Riley Herbst. He too was good yesterday, both practice and qualifying, trying to win for the first time in his career in the 98. Rolling from the outside of row 3.
Tell you what, guys, I think this track's really going to go through a big transition here early in the race. As it starts to take rubber pretty quickly, I think in the first 30, 40 laps, you're going to see this track get a lot darker, and it's going to start moving around for sure.
Yeah, then you're going to really see some comers and goers. The guys that aren't quite set up for that, Joey, fall to the back, and the guys that are drive to the front. And on top of that, we have a lot of cars going to the back. Look at this, 8 cars starting to the back, all for adjustments or something unapproved that they've done during the race weekend. So the start of this race is always interesting. It's going to be even more interesting with all these different variables to start.
Yeah, I mean, and think about some of the guys that will come from the back that could be players. You know, you got Brett Moffitt, Jeremy Clements, who's had some really good runs this year. Ryan Sieg going for the Dash for Cash. We talked about Raja Caruth and how good their car was yesterday. Here's the difficult thing about starting at the rear. I know the opening stage, you saw this in our race analysis, is only 45 laps. But you can get a lap down here really quickly. Yes. And track position is such a key component to being successful at Dover.
And if your balance isn't right here, it happens quick, right? Things start happening too quick where you're losing spots in a hurry. The leaders are coming there before you even know it. And these guys didn't have a lot of time to practice to tune their car in. So if you miss it in the beginning of this race, it's going to be hard to recover.
Absolutely. You see all the cars have made their run down pit road. Do that to check the pit road speeds one more time before the race starts. Keep pit road safe. Give everybody a chance to make sure they're legal, and we're getting lined up. Won't be much longer here till we get going.
Brandon Jones won the pole here yesterday, 4th pole of his career. And it's the 12th time that Joe Gibbs Racing has put a car P1 in qualifying at Dover in the Xfinity Series. Sam Mayer on the front row with him. You know, I talked about Riley Herbst, Sam Mayer. You look at Dover, 12 times it's produced a first-time winner. Driver got the first win of their career. So those are a couple of drivers to keep an eye on in that category today. And I also noticed is they got the 1 to go. We did the swap on the front row. Mayer goes low. Brandon Jones says, I want the outside lane. That a theme of the day?
Generally, I think so, Adam. What you're going to see here is at the start of the race, the leader has the choice. He can start on either inside or the outside, but nobody else has a choice at the start of the race. You have to go where you qualified. Odds on the bottom, evens on the outside. And that's a big disadvantage in some ways because, generally speaking, the outside lane on restarts, Joey, is a lot faster for those first 2 corners and makes up a lot of speed and distance.
Let's hear from the pole sitter and his team as we get set for the green flag.
We can win this thing for sure. Yeah, copy that, man. Let's just be really solid today, guys. No mistakes. It's going to be the key here. So, believe in everybody. Let's go get it done.
I'll say this. When he won at Martinsville, changed the pace for Brandon Jones and this team. Very confident right now. Fast last week at Talladega, but we know it's so hard to predict what will happen there, and you can take nothing from it. What they've done in practice and qualifying this weekend has helped the bump in their step. 19 should be really good. Row 2, the Chevys from Junior Motorsports, Gregson and Barry, Gibbs and Herbst on row 3. We're set for 200 miles in Dover, Delaware. 76th time the Xfinity Series has been here. It's great to have you with us on FS1. Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Really early start there, Joey, for Brandon Jones. Got up to a big jump. Just like we talked, the outside lane moved up at least 1 or 2 rows. 6th place to 5th, 4th place to 3rd, and so on.
How about 3 wide into turn 3? That's a little dangerous.
I know that story before. I've been there. It doesn't end up very well, but what a great start for the 19. Look at him gapping as they're racing for 2nd place. Back there is Sam Mayer and 8 of Josh Berry side by side through 1 and 2. And it's where it's tricky to run side by side through this racetrack. Look at how loose the 8 just got and lost all his momentum. It gets, for these guys, when there's a car on the outside, you get really, really loose for the inside guy. And so if you pinch them off and you take the air off the side, that inside car will get loose and wiggle up the racetrack for sure.
AJ Allmendinger, yes, great start. Got to the outside, cleared a bunch of rows. That's that experience he has, you know. Several years racing the Cup cars. And, wow, his car might not be handling great, but he's driving the wheels off it there, AJ is.
Ty Gibbs climbing the ladder, trying to get outside of the 16. I think he had a bobble and lost some momentum.
These guys are racing hard right now. This track position means so much at Dover, and the best opportunity to get it is right now on the start and restart. So these guys are racing aggressive for it.
18, John Hunter Nemechek. Second time he's been in that car this year. Successful run a season ago here at Dover when he was driving the 26 for Sam Hunt Racing.
He's one of the guys that I think we're going to have to watch out for today. I think he's going to be one of the best cars and have a great shot at winning. He's a little bit of my underdog. Hard to call him an underdog with all the success he's had, but being that he doesn't run in this series full time, he might not get the respect he always deserves.
Hey, you look at our scoring pylon. The guys highlighted in purple, those going for the dash for cash. Final round today, going for the bonus, $100,000. 34 is Kyle Weatherman.
So this is what happens when two cars get side by side, Joey. They lose the air. They have to slow down to keep from spinning out. And when you're behind them, you got to check up or cause that big wreck. And that's part of how the monster eats them cars right there.
That's true. Someone had to, this give and take right there for sure. Someone had to give a little bit, and it was the 44 that made out the best. But right now it looks like, whoo-hoo, car's still out there, a little tight coming off of turn 2 for him. But, you know, looks like, you know, also if you lose a little bit of momentum here, it's hard to make it back up.
Ryan Sieg on the move. Started in the rear. We talked about his issues, but he's making up ground. 31 of Myatt Snyder also coming from the back. And now we go back and check out what happened with Raja Caruth.
And we're just talking about how entering
Joey
into the corner with someone next to you makes you loose. I think that one was loose even with someone not on the outside of him. I looked a little free. Let's hear it.
A 1.5. Even.
I got to tell you, Jerry, that is very impressive. For a guy who only has a couple starts in this series, to be able to even just save this, that race car, super impressive.
So I'm curious, after you save it, you catch your breath. Is it a confidence builder knowing that you're capable of saving?
Oh, no. It's the opposite.
Absolutely not. You got to change your shorts after that.
Oh, contact down the backstretch here. John Hunter Nemechek into the back of AJ Allmendinger. Great save by AJ. I don't think he's going to forget that. No,
he's going to remember that the rest of the day. He had a heck of a save. We were watching it from the booth here. That was a big save from the 16.
Remember, the last time Nemechek was in an Xfinity car, Richmond, when he got moved on the final lap to win the race. So maybe he's got a little pent-up frustration here today.
Excuse me, please move out of the way. I really think John Hunter's got one of the best cars out on the racetrack, and he's working his way up to some track position, drove up here to P7, and we'll see what he can do.
Somehow, some way, AJ hangs on to that race car, Jamie.
Yeah, and that's not his only issue, getting loose and getting bumped out of the way. He already said that his oil temperature has skyrocketed, so we're keeping an eye on Allmendinger running 8th right now, Adam.
It doesn't seem like their grill's that dirty there, so.
The cars are starting to move up on the racetrack, though, Joe. You see them kind of diamond in the corner where they move up a lane and a half, and that's good.
11 laps in at Dover. It's been Save City. Look at Raja Caruth working the wheel. We're back in a moment. USFL action continues tonight with a doubleheader on Fox. At 4 Eastern, the Tampa Bay Bandits take on the Houston Gamblers. Then the Birmingham Stallions battle the New Orleans Breakers. It's all on Fox, and it all starts at 4 Eastern time. We're looking forward to that. And teammates racing at the front, and we've got a caution. Spinning out is David Starr in the 08, Jeremy Clements in the 51, first yellow of the day.
Keep going here. If you get it running, leaders right here.
A little contact. See some damage on the bottom of the front right corner nose. Interesting. He spun out on the right end of the front stretch. I got to see what happened here. Let's take a look at the replay.
Here they are off of turn 4. Looks like.
Oh. Looks like the 08 kind of ran him tight to the wall, and yeah, they all got together.
Look at, oh, 51's going to get just a piece of it there, trying to avoid it.
Didn't look like too much damage for Jeremy Clements. On board with Carruth here. Let's see what happened.
Oh, still there.
Yeah, so Kyle Weatherman got outside of David Starr, and I don't think David Starr thought he would be there, Joey. And yeah, 2 cars converging in the same spot on a very narrow and fast monster mile, and this is what happens. And like we talked, somebody else gets caught out of it. It had nothing to do with it because it just happened so fast.
Can't slow down quick at all here. I mean, you're just going so fast when it happens in front of you. You can be on the binders as much as you can, but it's hard to stop it.
Quite honestly, we're fortunate there weren't more cars collected there,
absolutely.
I believe. We're 20 laps in Dover, Delaware. The fans enjoying the action. It's Brandon Jones who's out front. He's led every lap. Earlier today, Jamie Little presented Matt Collig with the Drive for Autism Steve Burns Going the Distance Award. The award was established in 2015 after Steve's passing to honor his memory. Matt's work as a philanthropist and his passion to make a positive difference is exactly what the reward represents. Congratulations and thank you, Matt. Going the distance for the autism community and so many others. Let's check in on Justin Allgire, currently 4th.
It's interesting
think that 8 has to run high, the 9 has to run low, but he can't pinch off underneath of that 8. So they're in an impasse, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I tried to just do something different than they both were.
And that's a very good tool for passing.
And I was watching the 7 of Justin Allgire right before the caution came out. That thing is on rails right now. It's very, very fast. He's able to move up the racetrack, down the racetrack. You hear him on the radio right there. He says, I just moved up the racetrack and did what they weren't doing as fast. So that's telling me it's a versatile car that can go up, down, anywhere he wants and move through the field. He's already passed quite a few cars that started this thing. It goes green for a while. I'd be looking for the old 7 moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to give the Dirty Mo Media Group something to talk about on Monday. The old podcasters.
I mean, look at it. Junior Motorsports behind our leader, Brandon Jones, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So they occupy 4 of the top 5 positions. And a big announcement this week from JRM. They're going to dust off the 88, bring it out for a handful of races, and let their Cup Series regulars from Hendrick Motorsports come over and drive it. It all begins next Saturday at Darlington on FS1 with Chase Elliott, NASCAR's most popular driver. Going to see William Byron, Kyle Larson throughout the year.
Yeah, I won a few races in that 88 car, Junior Motorsports. Glad to see it back.
Did it here?
Yeah,
right?
Won a race here in that car.
2009. A.J. Allmendinger, 8th right now.
I wish we never get to stop in the back of the car to stop moving, man. So bad.
Work real hard not to, we just got to pay attention to us. It's going to be tough. We're not going to be good. We're not going to be good for the next month, but we will be good.
Huh. That tells me they know what's wrong and they've been trying to fix it. And to me, that sounds like possibly a downforce thing or some part or piece they're working on to become better. But I agree. I tell you, when I see the 16 of Allmendinger, of all the Xfinity races I've been watching up here this last year, that thing's always loose. Like, he is always sideways. So
and it kind of looks like the rear is bouncing a lot on that car. I think that's what he was trying to get to, right?
Maybe that as well.
I feel like, though, they just kind of lay in the weeds because every week, you know, there's something that they fight and he drops outside the top 10, and then you get down to the last quarter of the race and there he is with a chance. And you look at his results, 9 consecutive top 10s to begin the year. It speaks to how he's able to figure it out.
Well, that's because AJ's really good. Right? They have an experienced driver. And if you look at Jimmy Johnson used to do this to me all the time. He'd run, you know, when I first started running Cup, he'd run somewhat near me, and then he always would figure out how to finish in the top 5 all the time. And how does this guy do that? I'm like, I was right with him halfway through the race. And the next thing you know, AJ has that quality in the Xfinity Series.
Here's the choose, Brad.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier, outside lane is favored. So generally what you're going to see happen here in all the restarts for the fans at home is the outside lane will get more cars in it initially, and then some guys on it will start to pick the bottom lane in the choose and move up maybe a row or 2 further than what they were going to be, knowing they're probably going to lose those spots back, but that's part of the games we play here.
So this is where we'll kind of see. Let's watch the 7 car on this restart. He chose the 2nd row on the inside. His other option was picking behind the 8 of Josh Berry, where Noah Gragson is right now. That was his other option. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He could have laid up and got behind the 8. He went for it on the maybe not preferred lane behind the 1 of Sam Mayer. So we'll see how this one works out.
Yeah, I'm very curious. You know, as for drivers, what we're looking at is, does he beat the 9 car or not, right?
That's the thing. If he beats the 9, we'll know.
Yep.
Let's listen to Allgire and his radio on the restart. We're halfway through, just over halfway through
pace cars
our
will be
opening
ready.
stage.
Ten out, slow pace, 5, in, gun. Straddle in 2, just 10 now. Here comes the 9 on your right rear, straddle in 2. Still out there, but clear, all clear. Got room here.
And it looks like Justin Allgire was able to file in before and behind the 8 in front of the 9, which is Pretty much where he would have been before the choose, so probably a good move there. As he's still pressuring the 8, though, taking air off of him, trying to make the move here.
Significantly better than the 8. I'm impressed by how strong this 7 car looks right now. He's able to really run low in the corners, Joey, without getting loose, where we're seeing other guys when they get loose on the bottom and kind of shuffle up the track a little bit.
I say that thing's on rails, man. Look for that thing going to the front here in a little bit. You see the leaders just ahead of him. They're still bumper to bumper racing hard as well.
Yeah, Mayer not letting Jones get away here.
A little closer this time than it was the first time. A refire on tires changes a lot of things, and this is where it gets tricky too. Relaying information back to your crew chief on how to work on your car. You have a heat cycle there now. Things are different. The track's rubbered in a little bit more. How do you adjust on it? It's going to be tricky.
Moving straight, you're all cleared by 1.
Boy, Raja Caruth is fighting this car, huh? I mean, he has got his hands full.
It don't look like fun in his position at the moment.
I'll say this, though, for a young driver, you start in the back, he got the caution he needed to tighten everything up so he can stay on the lead lap and reset the car at the end of the stage.
And right here, Brad, like you're Sam Mayer. You're right behind him. He's doing such a good job at keeping his left front out. He kept more than the left front out on that one.
He is aggressive.
Pass.
Sam Mayer to the point.
That's exactly how you make a pass here at Dover. You're able to keep your left front a little bit lower, keep some air on the nose, pack air on the 19 right in front of him, and make the move. Let's watch a replay of this. Woo. He got really close to him.
Yes, he did, Joey.
I got to go, he said.
But you said this earlier. Now is the time. I mean, this is when everything's tightened up on these restarts. You got to go take advantage right now.
200 laps goes by very fast.
Yeah, we got 13 to go on the stage. Mayer is out front. Jones now second. Allgire, Berry, Gregson complete the top 5 at Dover. You saw it side by side. We said off the top, names are made in the Xfinity Series. Rivalries are born. Give me some Gregson and Gibbs. How about it?
Oh, I hate to say we told you so, but we called this one before the race started that these two are aggressive, and eventually they're going to run into each other. Look at this. This is coming off of turn 2 down the back stretch.
So it looks like the 9 car checked up a little bit, maybe got a little bit loose.
I feel like something happened before this because this is where the 9 really starts pushing Gibbs through the corner all the way down the straightaway, and it doesn't stop here, boys and girls.
Look at this. Oh, my goodness.
I just think it's so ironic that John Hunter Nemechek benefits from their run-in because he and Ty had their run-in a few weeks ago at Richmond. All right, maybe we should go to the team radio. Here's Ty Gibbs in the 54.
Be smarter than him. Yeah, he has his moments. Focus, go back to work, but drive away from him.
You know what's funny? The spotter is always on your side. You know, no matter what happens, you know you got that guy on your side and trying to calm you back down.
I always feel like Spotter's kind of like your mom. You know, whenever you do something wrong, Mom's always got your back. That's your Spotter. It's a comforting voice. Makes you feel good about things. But, you know, people ask me all the time, Double A, race fans all the time will ask me, Brad, who's your biggest rival? And I tell them, man, I try not to have a rival because I got to brace 30-some other guys out there. And I want to go back and something you saw happen while those two were duking it out and rubbing fenders, they got passed by at least 2 cars. And so they just lost even more track position at a track that's really hard to pass at. So that's a tough break for both of them where they'll probably learn something from it.
Brandon Jones started on the pole. He's drifted to 3rd now. You saw Sam Mayer take the lead away. Justin Allgire has jumped to 2nd. And Josh Berry had a peek with a couple to go in the stage. I noticed this last year watching the tape. Berry does a really good job of moving around, trying to find the best spot on the racetrack and grab some speed.
He's really an underrated race car driver. He's paid a lot of dues in some of the lower levels and short tracks, but maybe I should be quiet because the 7 car is now running down the 1 car. We said all along, Joey, he's one of the best cars. Last lap of the stage, he's going to try to make a big move here.
Big finish.
I like the effort.
1. Sam Mayer wins it.
These guys better adjust on their cars because the 7 car is fast.
Yes, sir.
Allgire 2nd. Berry up there in the top 5. Jones and Nemechek for Sam Mayer. 2nd career stage victory. We all know about the success of Noah Gragson. Pair wins this year. 7 times he's been to victory lane in his career. He's flamboyant. He knows how to celebrate. He's got a little swagger to him. And as the fellows pointed out off the top today, he is aggressive. And that's been on full display here in our opening stage. Let's listen into 9 Radio.
The brake checking's a little dirty, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no, I get it. We just can't be let him draw us into something like that to do something stupid and we lose 3 spots.
Yeah, I get it.
The other guy involved, the 54 of Ty Gibbs. And we're going to visit with Noah, who finished 8th in stage 1 in just a second. First, we'll open pit road and let all these guys come down for some service for the first time today.
Yeah, we probably should wait till after the pit stop before we stir the pot any up here.
That might be good. And we probably should hope the pit stop goes well.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Who's going to pay here? Let's start with that. Looks like a little indecision at first, but they're all coming here.
I was nervous because I thought it's a no-brainer, but here comes Mayer and everyone else, Regan.
Adam, a great first stage for Sam Mayer with the win right there. That race car is too tight, though. They can still make it better, in particular on throttle, too tight. The 19 of Brandon Jones, when we refired for that restart, that car was extremely loose. It finally came to him at the end of that run, though. Jamie?
Josh Berry in the 8 worked his way up to 3rd. Little loose to start, but it got better as they ran. Just an air pressure adjustment and 4 tires. Meanwhile, his teammate Justin Allgire really tight mid-corner. And when those right sides get into the rubber as they run, he gets a little too slick. So they'll make an air pressure adjustment there for the 7 machine.
Pit road is huge at Dover, and it can be a very tough place. And a long stop. There looked like extra time for the 7, and he's going to lose a little ground here coming off the pit lane. Retzloff will follow up what happened there, plus 17, no tire, so something seems odd there. Brandon Jones, plus 2. Mayer loses a couple. Gibbs and Berry, Allgire, the others that come off in the top 5. We understand Retzloff didn't even make a pit stop, might have missed his box coming in. We'll follow up there. Now let's visit with Gragson, who comes off 9th.
Hey, Noah, Brad Keselowski up in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you. Yes, sir. Got you.
Hey, well, we're just checking in. We've been watching action. Looks like we're having a lot of fun. You're one of the cars in the Dash for Cash. Got $100,000 on the line and a lot of action on the racetrack. Just want to check in with you and see what's going on.
Yeah, this Bass Pro Shop Camaro is really good. Just find a little track position there, but I think if we can get up front here and pick some guys off, get some clean air, this thing's going to be a rocket ship. Luke Lambert and the boys are doing great. The pit crew is doing awesome as well. So having a lot of fun here in Dover.
It sure looks like we're having a lot of fun watching, and if anything else happens, we'll be sure to tune in. Let us know if we should be watching.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Brad.
And Noah Gragson, of course, with Junior Motorsports, his teammate with an enormous problem, Sam Mayer, wins the opening stage, and there is his left rear tire. Regan, what's up?
Adam, as soon as he left pit road, the team told him to come back in. They knew they didn't have all the lug nuts on it as soon as he left. Told him not to swerve the car at all, to try and limp it back in. Unfortunately, that tire came off before he made it back. Now they're trying to get the car lifted up on the left side to get that tire put back on.
Ton of adversity for them today, and perhaps huge penalty on the way for losing that tire while they were rolling around the racetrack. Opening stage complete in Dover, Delaware. And we'll have the green flag in stage 2 next.
All this money, I'ma count it all up. All this money, I'ma count it all up. Count it all up, I'ma count it all up. Count it all up, I'ma count it all up. All this money, I'ma count it all up. All this money, I'ma count it all up. Count it all up.
Final Dash for Cash race of the year. NASCAR Xfinity Series rolling in Dover, Delaware. It's the A-Game 200 live on FS1. First stage goes to Sam Mayer, but they had a tire come off the car after they left pit road. So likely a 4-race suspension coming for Taylor Moyer, the crew chief, and a couple of crew members also will be set down. And you can see the crew. They knew it right there. We got big trouble on the way.
Well, they also know they're going to have 4 weeks to think about it. That's the part that really hurts, because it's a 4-week vacation. Vacation, we say jokingly, it's 4-week suspension for the crew chief, tire changer, and jackman. So these penalties are no fun. I've been a part of them, but they happen, and it's a part of racing. So you see the tire rolling down the backstretch.
We'll confirm, but typically the guys from Junior Motorsports use the pit crew members that operate for Hendrick Motorsports on Sunday. So
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, so that's something we'll follow up on and try to make sure we have all the information you need to know what could be coming down the road.
That is an excellent observation, Adam Alexander, because this could have some ramifications for Sunday, not just this week, but Sundays to come. So certainly would love to hear more from our industry insiders on this one.
And I think it would start next week, not tomorrow, if in fact. And again, that's not 100%. We're just going based on how they've done things in the past.
Well, back here, Josh Berry was third, and he took the inside line, which I thought was kind of interesting, and gave the outside to the 7 of Justin Allgire. Kind of an interesting play.
Very interesting. He must think the inside's going to take off faster. Here we go on our restart. Stage 2 begins.
Huh.
And he was right.
And Brandon Jones gets the jump from that inside lane as well.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah, here comes Allgire.
The 8's going to get loose under. He's going to get loose under. That's what I'm talking about.
Hang on to it. Opens the door for A.J. Allmendinger to slide through in the 16.
You know, that was still a great save. He almost got the 7 car and wiped both of them out. Got some problems here with the 44.
Is that a tire going down? Maybe it looked like he was bouncing around coming off of turn 4.
Definitely got something wrong.
Clear down, clear down, clear down, clear down. Inside, right side.
Something's wrong there.
We stay green.
Let's take a look at this 8 car of Josh Berry. Got a little push from the 16. Gets in the corner. He's got a guy tight on his door. It just pulls the air on him.
The worst possible spot you can ever want to be in. Someone driving into the back of you down the straightaway and having a car right on your door. Oh. Here's a 44. He's had a heck of a day today so far.
I can't tell if he's got a flat tire or not, Joey, or what's going on here.
He got a flat or something's broke. Hard to say from that.
Berry, who was in the top 5, third on the restart, has now dropped all the way back to 7th, racing with Noah Gragson.
Go get tight.
0-2 is Brett Moffitt. Joe Graff Jr. is there. And here comes the 1. Yeah, Sam Mayer had to start at the rear to begin stage 2 after that tire issue, but he's starting to make his way back through.
Up to 23rd, trying to get 22nd.
And he had a really good car, obviously winning stage 1. Probably the second best car on the racetrack to the 7 in the first stage. So we'll kind of see how that goes for him. But he's got to go, right? I mean, there's less than 150 laps left in this race. You got a lot of cars to pass. It's going to take some time. You got to be patient, but you also really can't waste any time as he goes 3 wide.
He's listening, Joey.
That's it. He might get a 2-fer here.
That's always a great feeling as a race car driver.
Oh, gosh, it feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes, that's when you want to come on the radio and say, did you guys see that?
I hope somebody saw that. At least they had it on TV this time.
30 laps to go in stage 2. How far can Sam Mayer climb through the field? Brad said he was 23rd, now 21st after that 2-for-1 as we go on board with Riley Herbst quietly getting it done today. He's 6th, looking back at Josh Berry riding in that 7th position.
Yeah, it looks like all the junior motorsports cars had some struggles on pit road. Justin Allgire had some struggles. Of course, Sam Merriway documented. And now they're just trying to play a little bit of recovery mode here. Still have time left in the race. Not a lot of time, but, you know, a good 100-some laps to go. And they're going to need all of them.
It's fun listening here at Riley Herbst. You see him you can hear him reset at like the 2/3 point of the corner. There's 2 ways to drive this track, Brad, right? There's one that you can barrel it down into the corner and run up the track a little bit, reset, and come back across the apex here at the 2/3. Or you can float it down into the corner, run it across the center, and then reset the 2/3 a little bit as you kind of check up on the gas a little bit. Just 2 different ways of doing it. Brad and I drive this racetrack completely different from each other. And neither one of us has ever really ran really well here. So.
Yes. Now, wait a minute. You
don't
both
listen
have
to
wins
us.
here.
Yeah, Joey's got like 4 Xfinity wins here. I've got 1, but when nothing seems to translate to the Cup car here.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
It's been a tough track for us, but there's a lot of different ways to drive this track. Ultimately, it's just really unique. The fact that it's concrete, it's got so much banking, it's pretty wide radius corners. And I always feel like your car's either good here or it's not, regardless of your driving style.
Berry gets by Herbst. Noah Gregson knocking at the door. We'll keep it side by side as we step away. Halfway through stage 2, Jones, Gibbs, Allmendinger, Allgire, Nemechek, the top 5. Jones, Ty Gibbs. They've got lap cars in front of him and a hungry Justin Allgire behind him. This is good with 18 to go in our second stage. How about that 54, Jamie?
Well, Ty Gibbs told me last year when they were here, they were way too loose. So in the first stage today, they were just too tight, just wouldn't turn. So they made a big air pressure adjustment on that one and only stop today. Now he said he has no rear grip, but I'm thinking since he's closing in on the leader, loose is fast, right?
Looks it right now.
At times, there is a limit to all this. I know Days of Thunder says loose is fast, and most of the time he's right, within reason, though.
Within reason, yeah.
There's a too far to that, especially at Dover.
Until you're backed in the wall.
Exactly. I guess that's the edge of out of control part. That'd be the right on the edge is where you're quick.
Such a great story, Ty Gibbs. I mean, the coach's grandson makes his debut, wins in his first race ever last year on the road course at Daytona.
Oh, and look at the traffic in front of these guys. This is opportunity, right? You see the leads right there for the 7, the 54, 19, all racing for the win here in the stage with 25 to go, or 16 to go, sorry, in the stage. And you got a whole mess of cars in front of you. Oh, boy.
Back behind them, Josh Berry trying to jump back in the top 5, racing John Hunter Nemechek. And look at Allgire. I mean,
he's just waiting for the opportunity.
What's happening with Jones? And
here goes that lap traffic.
Watch the run.
He's going to try to make a dive right here and get underneath the 54. He's got him. Nice move, Justin.
Way to see it coming.
That's really what it is. It's vision, Joey. Just like you said, he saw it coming. Knew what was going to happen. There's the loose 54 that Jamie was telling us about. Unable to maintain speed up in those upper lanes. So now Justin's got to do it again.
The other piece of that is we talked about how the 7 is versatile. Top, bottom, doesn't matter. He can move around, and that's going to help the most when you're in dirty air and getting through lap traffic.
Oh, the 54 is back up to the 7. He's not ready to give up that second place.
13 to go.
He's going to have a run here.
Second stage.
He's got it. He's going to take it, too.
Take it there.
Here comes Gibbs inside of Justin Allgire.
I still think the 7's in a decent spot here to get through this corner. Probably still in second.
This is great racing, guys. This is some of the best Dover racing we've seen in a long time.
Don't look now, but here comes A.J. Allmendinger. Not only trying to win the race today, he's leading the way when it comes to those drivers going for the $100,000 in the dash for cash.
Wow, that 7 car looks so strong off of turn 2 there, Joey. If he gets to the 19 and gets some clear lanes to run in, he should easily go by and win this stage.
Allmendinger's looking pretty good, though. He's really popped up out of nowhere. He's pressuring as they race for the lead in the 1. They're pressuring for 3rd and 4th.
Allgire is there. He slides up in front of Brandon Jones, new leader at Dover. It's Mr. Monster Mile, Justin Allgire.
He looks really good right now. If they can get through the pit cycle here a little better next time, he's got a great shot of dominating today.
Would you say he's led more laps here than the whole field?
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, he's got 2 wins here. No one else racing today has won here in the Xfinity Series. And if you look at what he's done the last 4 or 5 years, it's been incredible.
Big run from the 16 down in the turn 3 and 4 as they work through this lap traffic. We called it, guys. The lap traffic is tricky to get through here for sure. And I think experienced guys really actually did the best through it, right? You look at Allgire, you look at Allmendinger, the both of them are able to do really well, but they also have a good car that allowed them to do that.
Yeah, I like what you said earlier, Joey, about the versatility. It looked to me like Ty Gibbs was quite a bit faster than Brandon Jones on the bottom lane, but when he goes to move up right here, he just doesn't have the rear grip to carry speed. You can see kind of the wiggles that he's got.
Are we learning anything now for the final stage? Because typically we see long green flag runs. Is some of the speed we're seeing now, latter part of the stage, an indicator of who could be good long haul in that final stage of the day?
Oh, I think so for sure, especially with the 7 car. That speed he's showing right now. There's a pretty good little fire coming out of the left front of the 18 car the last few laps. I don't know if you saw that in the camera here. Oh, and the tire's flat. There it goes.
Boy, tough break for John Hunter Nemechek.
With only 6 laps to go in the stage, this is really going to put him behind. He's running in the top 6.
Yeah, and it happened at a bad place because he had to ride all the way around before he can come to pit road.
Oh, now the tire's coming apart.
Yeah, it's too many laps to limp it around. 7 to go in the stage.
That's a very tough break. He was one of my favorites to win today. It's going to be hard to climb out of that one, Joey.
Allmendinger, Gibbs continue to go at it for 3rd. Their battle 2 seconds behind leader Justin Allgire.
And just in front of the leaders here is a heck of a battle of cars that are trying to not go a lap down. They've been 3 wide and just rubbing and gouging. They know they only have to stay in front of the leader for 5 more laps, and they are fighting hard. Got the 4-car Ryan Vargas. It's like the 38 or 39.
Yeah. Parker Retzloff. Who had the issue on pit road, lost all that track position.
Brandon Brown right here. He wants to fight to stay in the lead lap with only 4 left to go on the stage. This is a big battle.
And Sam Mayer has worked his way into the top dozen, so he could be a player for stage points here. 4 to go.
That shows some strength in that car to be able to, for 45 laps in these stages to be able to pass that many shows some strength to start, picking them off one at a time. But this is where the track, I like what I see with the track here. It's wide.
Yes, it is.
We don't see Dover this wide all the time, and a lot of that is because you can see in the corner. Look at the rubber on the racetrack in the corners. That rubber forces the drivers to move around to find more grip. Go up the racetrack, get a little bit more of that gray area. That's where the speed's at. So you see way on the bottom or up top, and then it's going to just keep rubbering up. And that rubber is not good. That where you see it's dark is not more grip. It actually has more grip, especially on a concrete racetrack where it's lighter colored.
Allgire's advantage is now well over a second in front of Brandon Jones. Got the lead, starting to pull away. On board there with Ryan Sieg, started in the back, did not make a qualifying run yesterday. He's up to the top 15 as the caution is out, this time for the 91 of Mason Massey.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. Fire it up, get it in here, see what we got.
Mario Goslin owned car.
That will end stage 2.
We missed the beginning of this. It looks like probably got loose underneath the yellow 07 there and got loose and swapped ends.
So easy to do here.
The angle area is loose underneath the 07 of Joe Graff Jr. Trying to save it.
And see the hose come out of the left front. Those are hoses to keep the tires cooled off. And when you turn the wheels to the right, they're not supposed to be turned that far to the right. Those hoses all come out of the car and get ejected. But could have been a lot bigger hit than it was, but still a pretty good hit.
Mason had never been to this racetrack in any series prior to this weekend. So the stage ends. Justin Allgire able to get the victory. Second straight week he's won a stage. Also did it last Saturday at Talladega. 6th time he's won a stage here at the Monster Mile.
Tomorrow on FS1, the NASCAR Cup Series is here in Dover. The best in the world take on the Monster Mile. Coverage begins with race day, 2 Eastern time here on FS1. You can also watch it on the Fox Sports app. And it's April 30th. Let's go on this date. 1789, George Washington inaugurated as our first U.S. president. Lou Gehrig playing in his 2,130th consecutive game. 1952, Mr. Potato Head is on TV. And how about this in 86, Bill Elliott sets the NASCAR qualifying record, 2:12 and change. Wow. At Talladega.
Hee-haw.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
And hey, Michael Waltrip won at Talladega today. Michael's celebrating a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to our teammate.
Oh, got a little stat here. Both Joey and I have all won races on April 30th. I won one in Cup and, or no, Joey won his in Cup at Richmond. I won mine in Xfinity. Richmond, there you go.
How about that?
I've not won on April 30th.
There's still time.
My mid part of the run was as good as I've been ever here.
I don't see anyone else with the maneuverability that you have, and that's what makes the passing for us a lot easier.
It's like they're listening to us, Joey.
I know. I think that's what it is. Maybe we know what we're looking at finally.
So extended yellow here. There is a ton of debris out on the racetrack. When we saw the spin for Mason Massey, you saw parts come off the car. We saw a whole bunch of stuff. John Hunter Nemechek had an issue with the left front tire. He's parked it in the garage. He had a big issue with something inside the car. And Regan can hopefully give us a little more information. Regan, what you got?
Well, yeah, Brad, I think some of that stuff we saw on the racetrack was actually the brake rotor from John Hunter Nemechek. Ultimately, that is what put them behind the wall, and that is what caused that flat tire, a brake rotor breaking on the 18 car.
You just don't see that often with a Joe Gibbs prepared Toyota. And, well, you see the frustration on the face of Jason Ratcliffe there in the garage area.
So usually, Adam, just to get a little technical on you, you don't actually break the rotor as the root cause failure. What usually happens here, and it's very common at Dover, you actually break the left front hub on the car. You've got a lot of banking at this track, and there's a transition between kind of the asphalt where the apron is and the concrete where the racetrack is. And if you hit that over and over again, a lot of times it'll break the hub. When the hub breaks, the rotor goes with it. So I'm not sure if that's what happened, but we do see that a lot here at this racetrack in the Cup cars and now in the Xfinity cars.
Ryan Truex going to drive the 18 next Saturday in Darlington. John Hunter Nemechek going to drive the 26 for Sam Hunt. Pit stops as we wrap stage 2. Here they are, Regan.
And it's been a very good day so far for the 98 of Riley Herbst. Right now, that race car just loses all the grip when the track gets rubbered in. So once the rubber goes down, he's struggling with the right rear. And the 19 of Brandon Jones, too tight that whole run. Did the same thing from start to finish, just too tight with it. Jamie?
And the 16 A.J. Allmendinger just started off so far off, so loose, he said, but as they ran, he got a little bit better, but he wants them to tighten it up just a bit. The 7 of Justin Allgire had a slow stop last time around. You guys heard him, good maneuverability, but he said really tight in, really free off, so they'll help that with an air pressure adjustment.
And now the all-important race off pit road. And this time the 7 crew answers the bell, holding serve. Josh Berry jumps a couple of positions. Brandon Jones goes back to 3rd. Allmendinger also lost a spot. Gibbs, the 5th car, off the pit lane.
Well, let's dial up old Justin Allgire. What do you say? Justin, Joey Logano up in the booth. You got me? Maybe not. We'll try again. Hey, Justin, Joey Logano up in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yeah, buddy, go ahead.
Ooh, well, that thing looks like it's on rails. You guys just had a great pit stop. You got the clean air. Everything's looking good. It must feel amazing. How's it feel to have a car that fast?
Oh, it feels great. You know, obviously, every time we come here to Dover, these guys tune it up for me, and we've had incredible cars here. So
You know, to have door bumper clear in the car. Eddie's been saying door bumper clear as he's spotting for me there. It's been kind of funny, but to have as fast of a Camaro as we've got really is awesome. Pit crew obviously right there, getting back out here in the lead. You know, now we got a long stage, so we gotta maintain, not make any mistakes. But yeah, feels good to be out front, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Brad and I have been joking around how big TJ Major's head's going to be if you win with that thing with door bumper clear on it. Good luck out there, man.
Thank you, buddy. It's, you know, maybe that's the extra front downforce I needed, having all their big heads on the front of the hood. Either way, I hope you guys are having fun up there in the booth, and hope the fans at home are enjoying watching, because we're having a lot of fun.
I thought Justin was going to take us right to commercial break there. The final stage coming up with Allgire out front. Ready for the final stage, NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Dover. It's the A-Game 200. Couple of things we got to clean up from pit road. Brandon Jones been good all day long. Started on the pole, making a pit stop. Watch the front changer. Upset, throws the gun. Didn't get all the lug nuts on, so they had to come back down, make another pit stop, tighten things up there. He restarts deep in the field. Sam Mayer, who had worked his way from that wheel issue on the last pit stop, had driven all the way up inside the top 15. He got caught speeding here, so he drops to the rear as we go green right at the midway point of today's race. Allgire leading, takes the outside lane. Final stage underway at Dover.
Tell you, watching this, the lanes seem pretty equal, right? When you start choosing on these restarts, they seem pretty equal. You just probably take the shortest lane at this point. Oh, we already seen this story once today with Josh Perry underneath the 7 of Justin Allgire getting loose again. Still hanging, though.
I don't think Justin's going to be very happy about that. He's got one of the best cars on the racetrack. That's the second time that's happened to him with the 8 car. I'm going to say there's some frustration brewing right there.
They are teammates, you know.
Yeah.
We've seen Junior Motorsports cars race very hard with each other all year long. They're all fast. They're all racing for the win. It's going to happen, right? It's a good problem that they're all racing for the win. But I'm sure it makes Monday interesting at times.
We know how that goes sometimes, Joey.
What are you talking about, Brad?
Yeah, well, you guys have had, but I'm thinking back to Martinsville where Dale Jr. was in the race, and he was racing hard with Josh Berry and had a couple of disagreements.
Sorry, Justin's got control of the race. We know he's got one of the best race cars. Pit crew executed the pit stops flawlessly. He executed the restart, a little bit dicey. Now we're going to get into this long green flag runs. The cars can go about 80 to 90 laps on a tank of fuel, so we have at least one more pit stop left. But this is a big challenge to see if the 7 car can endure like it has done in the runs prior.
Here's what they're saying, 7 radio.
Just take care of it until someone pressures us. Yeah, 10-4. That's 2 in a row now. No 16 on that one.
Yeah, well, he saw what we saw there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's be honest here, though. Josh Berry is still pressuring him, right? Like, he has a chance, and if he gets clean air, his race might change. So I understand his reason for trying hard and trying to get the clean air. It means so much in these races to get clean air and gain control of the race.
And look what's right behind him, Joey. One of the best cars in the series week in and week out, the 54 car. They've been a little bit too loose that last run in the race.
Oh,
Stephen Parsons. Sideways, caution is out for the 4th time today.
It's when it comes back up the track is where you get real nervous like that.
Stephen driving the 99 for BJ McLeod. He announced this week he's going to be doing some racing for Tommy Joe Martins and Alpha Prime. Hangs on to it here. We'll take a break with Justin Allgire out front. We had on this date, but did you know that today is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day? Jamie Little has more, our expert.
Yes, and I just want to be clear, those aren't all my animals, but that's a nice goal to reach for. And today, yes, as you mentioned, it's just a friendly reminder for those of you maybe looking to bring a pet into your home, whether it's a cat, a dog, even a horse. Look down the street to your local shelter. And look, our NASCAR family, all the fans out there have their own dogs and cats. And look, AJ Allmendinger with Xena, flies on the airplane, go to the races. Jeb Burton with Hunter. lots of animal love out here. So happy National Adopt a Pet Day, guys.
And hey, Jamie, Cody, your husband just texted me and said, tell her not to bring all those animals home, okay? Just so you know.
There's a lot of husbands right now saying that to their wives, I feel like.
I just got chickens. Does that count?
Let's go with it. What the heck?
I think so.
Regan, how about the 98 electing to come down pit road under this caution?
Yeah, Adam, a casino out of the back straightaway here at Dover, and why not go ahead and roll the dice, right? And that's exactly what Richard Boswell did. I just looked at him on top of the pit box, said, can you make it to the end? He said, yes, but it was a nervous yes. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, we had said the window's 85 to 90, but you anticipate cautions. He makes his pit stop, let's see, where was it? At lap 105, so that's 95 to go. So, I mean, it's just right there on the outside edge of the window.
Yeah, I think Herbst can make it from here. He might have to save some fuel to do it, but if he does not have to pit in this last stage and everybody else does, you lose so much time on pit road here, it will win him the race. But we'll see how it plays out.
Let's see, the 7 took the bottom.
Yeah, let's listen to team radio for the 7 and 8.
And I'm have to be taking the bottom just so I don't get run over into 3 every time.
Yeah, just remember what we talked about before the race started, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, 10-4. Just frustrating, man.
Don't be afraid to give up that spot, to Justin there if you need to. You'll be plenty good here after a few laps to get back by him.
Yeah, I gave it to him on the front there because I just should have. But I know, that bump, the timing of the bump getting into 3 is just so empty for me.
You have a curious look on your face, Joey.
Yeah, it's the whole. I gave it to him. This, that. I don't know if I saw any giving going on. I saw a lot of sliding.
Look who's starting third. Look, Daniel Hemrick, who didn't have a great qualifying day, driving with that broken foot, has worked his way into the top 5. In fact, you go back through the top 10, both RCR cars are there. Landon Castle has worked his way up into the top 10. I mean, it's impressive what's happening up front.
I bet
now.
Daniel is feeling that broken foot right now. 93 laps to go at Dover. Up towards the front. Maybe a little adrenaline kick in, make him feel better.
Restart with 92 to go.
Good launch for Justin Allgire.
Don't have to worry about anything.
No issues with anyone there, right?
And Hemrick, is he going to be able to hang down here on the bottom off of turn 2? Doesn't look like it. Here comes Ty Gibbs up top.
It's good effort. He didn't lose anything. He was running behind Ty Gibbs before the choose.
Worth a shot to get up there, especially if the leader chooses the bottom. A lot of times if you choose with the leader, maybe a little better chance of hanging on to the a spot if you're on the non-preferred lane.
Good things happen to you, yes. Got to put yourself in those positions.
Look,
what a battle we have. Whoa. Our dash for dash car here, Ryan Sieg on the outside lane. Battling for a top 10 here.
It's taken him a while, but from the back to the front, Sieg is getting there.
Some good onboard here in 39 with a little bit of contact here just a minute ago.
Another dash for Casher in the 10 at Landon Castle. A little bit into the left rear. Right there, what you're nervous of now is my left rear going to get cut down from that if you're Landon Castle. That's right in the tire.
27 of Jed Burton nosing up in there, trying to get back in the top 10. Just behind them, Parker Retzloff in the 38.
Sam Mayer had to go to the back for that speeding penalty, so he's climbing his way back through again.
Yeah, a couple pretty solid cars there. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, 19, trying to work their way through some traffic.
I mean, they're going to be back. They get by these guys in front of them now. They'll be back in the top 15 here. It's an incredible restart for both those drivers.
They're definitely going to get the most cars passed award today for sure, as they've gone to the back. The one's gone to the back a couple times as he works his way back through the field. Definitely a fast car.
Hey, give a call there. We saw the 36 of Alex LeBay celebrated a birthday yesterday. He's in the top 15 driving for Mario Gosling.
If you're the leader of Justin Allgaier right now, you know you have a fast car. The 8's pressuring you a little bit. You just use what you need to. And here's Sam Mayer with the 36 car. Alex LeBay in front of him.
He says, I would like to drive back into the top 10. Will you get out of the way, please?
I gotta go.
Yeah. I think Alex is just going to wave him by on that one. Sam Mayer's got a really fast car.
With some cautions, he's still got a chance in this thing, right? I mean, they've kind of put themselves in a hole a couple times. But if you have the right amount of cautions here, a couple restarts, it still can go your way.
Riley Herbst driving back into the top 20. Remember, he's the one guy that if this race stays green, we think might be able to make it on fuel. We're not entirely sure. I don't think his team's even entirely sure, but we think he might be able to make it on fuel.
Definitely, maybe.
Yes.
We'll make it on fuel.
Said with tremendous confidence.
That's right.
Yes.
How do you run the race now if you're him? I mean, does it change the way you drive the car at all, knowing your situation, or do you just continue to run the same race even though you lost the track position?
I just think it depends on what information your team's able to tell you, right? How close are we? Are we 1 lap short? Are we 2 laps short? At what point do I need to start saving fuel as he's getting pushed down into the corner? He can't save fuel right now. There's too many cars around you. You got to go.
Well, I think the big thing is when you're in a position like Riley Herbst, you can't tell if there's going to be a yellow or not. What you can do is make sure you're not the yellow or you don't cause the yellow, because you do not want a yellow flag right now. You have a great advantage on the field if the race stays green. So you can't keep somebody else from wrecking, but you can keep from causing a yellow. And I think you do drive a little differently that way, Adam.
I would say this too, knowing how fast the 7 car has been in Justin Allgire, you can't back it down too much.
That's right.
Or he'll run you down and put you a lap in arrears, and then the whole strategy game is thrown out the window. It's Allgire leading. Barry's there. Gibbs, Hemrick, and Allmendinger. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series on FS1. Xfinity Series. It's the A-Game 200 live in Dover, Delaware. Justin Allgire leading, but his teammate Josh Berry not going away right now, Jamie.
That's exactly right. These junior motorsports cars have been so impressive, and Josh Berry came here last year for the first time, finished 1 spot short in second. He's told me they brought back the same setup today, so he was very optimistic. And you guys mentioned they got into it a little bit with his teammate in front of him, Justin Allgire. Well, Josh came on the radio and said, I'm like a firecracker. You never know when I'm going to go off. Getting a little feisty there in second place.
Yeah, and he was second in this race last year, was Josh Berry. No success at Dover. Third right now, Ty Gibbs, looking for his 4th win of the season, doing what you expect from a Joe Gibbs driver at Dover. And then you start to get into the portion of the top 10 where we're seeing some fresh faces. We talked on that last restart about Daniel Hemrick, who starts outside the top 15. Not great in qualifying yesterday, but here he is, broken foot and all in the top 5. His teammate. And before we get to A.J. Allmendinger, let's get a report on the 11 with Regan.
Well, Adam, interestingly enough, that team worked very hard on Dover and Darlington during the off week a couple weeks ago. Said they really wanted to try some new stuff, find some stuff that would work here. Evidently, it's working right now. The only thing he's asked for is some more right rear grip out of that car all day. They've been making good changes and continue to get better.
You look at Allmendinger behind him. He leads the way when it comes to winning the Dash for Cash, trying to do it for a 3rd consecutive week. Kind of status quo for the 16. Been riding right there 4th, 5th, 6th all afternoon long.
Just grinding the front tire off, though. God, forget it. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, we better off just to leave here. Let him finish it on them tires.
That's mean right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Sheldon Creed's a rookie, and he needs a good run. So close to finishing the deal last week at Talladega. Comes into this race 45 below the cut line, driving that 2 car for Richard Childress, but has answered the bell today, 6th and right in front of Noah Gragson.
You know, probably expected a little bit more speed out of Noah Gragson today. You know, he still has a pretty good car, and he's running up there in the 7th spot. But, you know, this is a racetrack we kind of expect Noah to be fast at, and you see the other Junior Motorsports cars up there. So, you know, all these cars, you know, I was talking to Justin Allgire yesterday. He said all the Junior Motorsports cars come with a lot different setups every week. You know, whether it's the driver asking for something different or crew chiefs with different theories. But typically they all run about the same. Whereas I'd say today, the 9 might not be as strong as the rest right now.
Yeah, I would say the 9 car is generally one of the better of the cars that they've had this year, but no doubt not the speed that you would expect.
Austin Hill making nice gains since the start of the race. Daytona winner, 8th right now. And we talk about the Dash for Cash. 3 of those competitors inside the top 10. Landon Castle trying to win it for the first time in his career is 9th right now. How about this? The last 11 times we've had a Dash for Cash race, the money has gone to either Junior Motorsports or Colleague Racing. And they've got 3 of the 4 today, and they're the 3 that are running the best. So that's impressive, and you speak about impressive. I mean, the day for Sam Mayer, to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back. He has passed a lot of cars, as we said earlier.
You say impressive, I say very aggravating. To have a car that fast and not be winning the race or up there in the top 2 or 3 is so frustrating. As a race car driver, you feel like your just opportunity to win is just wasted away by execution issues.
Yeah, they had the tire get away when they didn't get all the lug nuts on, so he had to start at the rear after a second stop, and then the speeding penalty. And Brandon Jones, who had to come back on that last cycle of stops to tighten the lug nuts because they didn't get him on the original cycle down pit road, finds himself 11th. And Ryan Sieg, we're on board here, is 12th, the final of those going for the $100,000 bonus today.
Look at, you know, Josh Berry is not letting the 7 of Justin Allgaier get out of his sights, which tells me they have made the 8 car much, much better. And Justin's not going to have this as easy as he thought he was going to have it, or as easy as I thought he was going to have it either. This is going to be a battle down to the end.
Yeah, and we talked earlier about Riley Herbst coming down the pit lane and getting fuel on that last caution. He has worked his way up to 16th. But I remind you of that story only to tell you that beyond Riley, who says it will be close on fuel, everybody else definitely going to have to make another pit stop here, and they're in the window for sure now. So if the caution comes out, that's likely what would play out. 66 laps remaining at Dover, and it's Justin Allgaier showing the way. inside of 60 laps to go in the A-Game 200 at Dover. We look at our Xfinity Fastest Lap. Brandon Jones started on the pole at 59 laps, put one on the board at 23:55. Ty Gibbs is up there. So is Justin Allgire. And, you know, Allgire's been doing a good job of working this lap traffic, but he has not been able to pull away from his teammate, Josh Berry.
And this is a battle of clean air, right? If somehow Josh Berry gets to the lead, I don't believe the 7 passes him back right now. So you have two very equally matched cars, and the only difference is one's got air on the nose more often than the other. And I think that's the speed difference right now.
I have heard this weekend, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong on this, but I have heard this weekend the phrase dirty air, I think, more than I've heard all season long so far.
Dover's one of our faster racetracks, and the corners here, like we were talking earlier, are just so long. And clean air is more important in the corners than it is down the straightaway. In fact, you really don't want clean air down the straightaways because you want to be able to draft behind somebody. So that said, it makes it super sensitive to you know, having a clear path to the air for your race car. You're going to hear it a lot every time we come to Dover here as we see a pass for Sam Mayer. Just keeps driving up to the field.
He just needs a caution now, right? I mean, he's, yeah, as you said, he's 7th, but he's 11 seconds behind this duo, and we could have a change for the lead soon. Josh Berry is working it.
And this isn't going to happen easy for Josh Berry. This is going to be a battle. Justin's already a little ticked off from getting slid into a couple times. I don't see this being an easy pass for the lead with 55 laps to go.
So a few laps ago, Joey, the 8 car of Josh Berry started moving up really high on the racetrack. And this is why, right here. He's going to go for this box opportunity. And he might have it.
Ooh,
He's got it.
He's going to cross the back.
Massey is a pick. Crossover. Allgire trying to take the top spot back. This is good.
He's going to get it back, too.
Is he? Because here comes
the cross again.
A double cross.
Oh, man.
Josh Berry for the lead. Into turn 3.
Now does he carry him up? Oh,
because of
Justin's
7th
got to
run.
run.
He's going to get stopped.
Wow, this is a heck of a battle.
All clear. Josh Berry, your new leader at Dover.
And this is what I was talking about right here, guys, is that once the 8 gets to clean air, he's probably going to have the advantage over the 7. I think these cars are so equally matched, and running through the dirty air at the moment with all these lap cars is tough. It's not over yet, guys. It's still battling.
And then we still have a pit stop to go, too. Don't forget about that. Neither of these 2 cars can make it on fuel. So now the question becomes, if you're the 7 car, do you short pit the 8 car, Joe?
All it's going to take is a lap. If you're that close, you short pit him a lap, you're probably going to get out in front. So you kind of got to make a last-second call if you're going to do that.
So for the fans at home, short pitting is when you pit before you have to pit in order to have new tires just a few laps earlier than the guy in front of you. And you're going to make a little more speed, and hopefully when he blends out on the racetrack, you're in front of him, and you can reassert control over the race.
Yeah, right now they're running about a 1.5 seconds off of what their fastest laps are. So, you 1 lap is a 1.5 seconds of time on the racetrack by pitting 1 lap sooner than the car you're racing against. So that would be enough to take the lead and take control.
And executing a green flag pit stop here is just so difficult.
Yes, it is. You have this big braking zone underneath the bridge, and we heard actually a few minutes ago Josh Berry talk about how bumpy it can be on entry to turn 3. And when you try to brake over those bumps and try to get to the pit road, it can be super difficult here.
And you may be asking right now, well, then why doesn't he pit? Why, if it's so much faster when you put new tires on? Well, if the caution comes out before the whole cycle goes around, right, before every car pits, you're going to be trapped down a lap. And then you're going to be buried, and you're going to have to come back through, and there's not many laps left in the race. So it's risk versus reward. At some point, you're going to have to get gas. So you can either run it long till you have to pit and pray for a caution, or try to make a green flag cycle early and try to leapfrog some cars by having newer tires.
In the history of this race, the last 2 times a yellow has come out in the middle of the pit cycle because someone has spun out coming to pit road or had some kind of issue. So,
and the crew chiefs know that.
Oh, they know this. Crew chiefs know.
Yeah, they do. And every one of them talked to me about that this morning as we discussed strategy. They're like, we can't come too soon. We just don't trust these guys getting onto pit road. Under caution for the 5th time today with Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. I'm Adam Alexander. We're live at Dover Motor Speedway. And here's the reason for the caution. Watch the 4 of Bailey Curry.
I don't know what was going on there. If he was trying to make pit road. It's hard for me to say he was trying to make pit road because he missed it by a mile. Woo. I feel like there might have been something else going on there.
Yeah, when I looked up and saw him against the inside wall, like right here, I'm like, maybe he was trying to get on the pit road, but I'm with you, Joey, where he was on the track. And
well, you see the left rear out of the wheel well so much there in that shot, almost like the track bar may have broke, or the mount may have broke off the housing, something like that. You don't usually see the axle move that much, and they're towing it in, so I think it was something to do with the
something else must be broke.
Rear end.
You know what this means? No green flag pit stops. We're going to come under caution.
And I was kind of looking forward to seeing that. But you know what? This is going to be exciting, too, because you think of the battle between the 7 and the 8 car on pit road, and those 2 pit crews have been kind of neck and neck. And then you've got Ty Gibbs, who their pit crew has been amazing on pit road. So it's going to be a good battle.
Here's Curry audio.
What happened? Rear end blew up or something. Rear end had been moving back and forth. Like I was starting to have to like lift really easy. Going in the corners there because it would jump to the right.
That's no fun. And a lot of oil down there, too. That's all gear oil. So you can kind of see behind the trailing edge here. And that is, it's really slick.
Hey, and
really slick.
You know, as the AMR safety team pulls that 4 car away, here's the big question to me. What do you do if you're Riley Herbst, Richard Boswell? Because, you know, they had made that pit stop. And, I mean, this makes their fuel good, but, boy, you're going to be at a pretty big disadvantage on tires, right? So you just come here and...
Yeah, I mean, their hope was that this thing ran green, and that was their chance at winning. And now, man, you ran a lot of laps right there. If you are in a vulnerable position, if you stay out and take the lead here on old tires, you're going to get eaten up pretty quickly. So I think you got to put tires on.
16 cars on the lead lap right now. I believe it's going to be Jeb Burton who gets the free pass. He's currently listed 1 lap down in 17th. And track position being such a big deal here. And we're going to restart inside of 40 laps to go. Keep in mind the dash for cash element of this. And Allmendinger, Gregson, Castle, if one of those guys can bust off a great stop, gain an advantage, that could net them $100,000. We confirm Jeb Burton gets the free pass. Pit road is going to be open this time around. Barry, Allgire, Gibbs, Hemrick, Allmendinger, your top 5. Rest of the top 10, Gregson, Mayer, who needed this caution badly, Creed, Hill, the teammates at RCR, and Landon Castle. They are heading your way, Regan Smith.
Well, Adam, the good day continues for Daniel Hemrick. A little bit of a discussion on if they wanted to change anything or not on this pit stop. They thought back to the start of the very first, or the start of this last run, said the car was good there. Let's leave it alone. We don't want to mess up. And Sam Mayer continuing to work his way back to the front of the field. Right now, that race car is nearly perfect. He said he's just a little bit tight. Doesn't want any changes, though. Jamie?
And same thing with Josh Berry in the 8, just a little bit too tight center exit. They told him it's going to be a 40-lap shootout here. And the 7 of Justin Allgire, been the car to beat. Just can't rotate through the center like he wants. A little bit loose on exit as well. 4-tire stop here.
And there is an extended stop for the 7 of Justin Allgire. Looked like a problem maybe on the right rear. We will follow up. But second time today they have had a bobble, and this will cost him big time. He goes from 2nd to 5th. Josh Berry takes over the race lead on pit road. By the way, the 98 of Riley Herbst, they did come down for service. The stretch run has arrived at Dover.
Coming up next, it's a huge doubleheader on FS1. First, Ohtani leads the Angels against the White Sox. Then Bryce Harper and the Phillies battle Francisco Lindor and the Mets. Coming up next on FS1 and, of course, also on the Fox Sports app.
That was pretty good, Bradley.
Yeah, I've been practicing, Joey.
That was good. You were really legit about that.
Got some fans here having fun. It's a Kyle Larson fan. Some Ford fans as well.
And if you're a fan at home saying, where is Adam Alexander that left these two in the booth? He had to make a pit stop.
Yes.
And he's back. He has a quick
final
pit stop,
stage break. Did you get? Did they get the tires tight?
That was an unscheduled pit stop. What that was. You just had to out me, didn't you? Could we not have said like, "Wait, Joey, that was a good job. You're getting really good at this."
I don't get to make those kind of pit stops during the race. You shouldn't either.
Hey, he ever hang you out in the draft? You know,
we've had our moments.
Wow. A few memories come to mind. Well, I tell you what, Justin Allgire, fast car, we've talked about that today. Another bad pit stop, slow on the right rear again, losing some spots, unfortunately. So he'll have to battle his way back up. Josh Berry is probably pretty happy about that. Justin may not be. Those cars seem pretty equal.
What can you do? We'll get to that in a second. First, we were talking earlier about the success that you guys have had here, even though neither one of you were agreeable on the fact that you've been good at Dover. Now this, of course, Joey, was not a moment we like to remember, 2009.
Although we have reminded him a couple times.
But you have won, at one time, 4 consecutive Xfinity races here.
This was a great track for a little bit with 4 poles, 4 wins all in a row. It was a great little streak. And then no one's let me drive an Xfinity car since, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm up here talking with you guys.
Well, you already conquered the Dover Concrete Monster Mile, and nobody, felt like you needed to come back. You have not a lot to prove.
I just want to keep racing. Though you've got a track and something you're good at and got figured out. You just want to keep racing.
Hey, we just had a long run. Now we're going to have a short run to end it inside of 40 laps here. If you're Josh Berry, what are you doing on this restart? And what kind of changes maybe did you make to your car so you're set up for the short little run to the finish?
Well, I'd be thinking about the lane choice, right? Justin Allgire took the bottom on the last restart and won. If I'm Josh Berry, I might be thinking about that bottom. He got a pretty good launch. He also almost beat the 7 on the bottom. So it's going to really come down to this restart. It's going to be very, very important on the lane choice and executing that restart to get that clean air on the nose.
Yeah, I'm looking at this restart and I'm thinking, if I'm Justin Allgaier, I'm a little bit frustrated right now, right? I'm thinking, man, I had this race. I was kind of dominating, and then I lost it to my teammate, and then I had this pit stop. I bet there's a little fire in his belly. What do you think?
I don't count him out yet, right? You get a little fire, you get a little anger. I go faster when I'm angry.
I'll say this, though. He's 5th, so he's obviously not out of the game. And with the choose, might be able to put himself in a decent position here for the restart. And they're going to choose this time around. Should be 34 laps to go when we return to the green flag.
You see Daniel Hemrick up to 2nd there. And, you heard some things about Colleague and wanting to try some different things in the 11. I'd say it's working right now as the #1 Colleague car.
Berry goes high.
That gives Allgaier 2nd row on the bottom. So he's going to gain a row here on the start.
His car's been pretty strong still. I mean, he's got a great shot. He might not have been as fast as Josh Berry was, but I think he can fight from there, Joey.
Hey, look at row 3. The guys lined up in row 3. The drivers going for the $100,000. Noah Gregson and A.J. Allmendinger, and right behind him, Landon Castle, who's also up for the bonus. Let's listen in on Hemrick restarting front row.
Yeah, checking for the front row here. Ken, we want the front row. Come on. And forward.
I think anytime you can take the front row, you better take the front row. That's my opinion. Unless maybe it's like Martinsville or something like that, where there's someone's going to punt someone out of the way. It might change the story a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, Joey. When you have a shot at the front where you take it and see what you can make happen here.
Does who's behind you factor in on what you choose? And, I mean, do you want – I mean, is that a big part here? You get
you can't choose who lines up behind you, right, with the choose rule behind you. So you can take a guess, though.
Well, work with your teammate, maybe? Absolutely.
Good launch for both in front row.
Great start. The 7's pushing the 11 hard down into turn 1.
Hemrick is there.
It's gonna be tight.
Big run in that outside lane.
And Allgire is clear.
What lane do you go after the 7? Do you move up? Do you stay behind him?
Josh Berry grabs the lead on the restart. 33 to go.
Justin Allgaier cannot waste time with Daniel Hemrick.
He's not going to. Look, he's got a run underneath Daniel Hemrick going into turn 3 here, Joey.
Got him cleared back up to 2nd.
And Daniel was really smart there. I think he knew that Justin was a lot faster, lifted a little bit, and just got in line.
Get in line, take your loss, and move on. Don't make it worse. At this point, it's go, Cat, go.
Noah Gragson jumps in front of A.J. Allmendinger, so he now leads in the chase for the Dash for Cash. Gragson 4th overall. Allmendinger is 6th. And racing Ty Gibbs for position.
That was a $100,000 restart for those guys.
Yes, it was.
You think about what's on the line.
Noah Gragson hasn't had a strong run today, but he is showing up when it counts.
I may have spoke too soon about him not having the greatest of days. He's executed pretty well and got himself into a good spot. And I believe he's faster than the 11 of Daniel Hemrick in front of him. He's going to pressure him here.
It would be Junior Motorsports 1, 2, 3 if Gragson can get by Hemrick here. And what's interesting, the Dash for Cash winner in every race this year has finished in the 3rd position, you know?
That is weird.
3s are wild when it comes to winning the $100,000. We'll go side by side, 30 laps remaining. Top 5 at Dover. Berry, Allgaier, Hemrick, Gragson, and Gibbs. So good to have you with us on FS1. Down to 23 laps to go in Dover, Delaware for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And the man out front is Josh Berry. He's from Tennessee. Met Dale Jr. racing online. They developed a relationship, did so many great things in the late models, got his opportunity to drive in the Xfinity Series last year, winning twice. And it is rare to come to the racetrack and not see his entire family in the garage. He's a family man, a little older than what you see out of the, quote, newcomers to the Xfinity Series, but his experience shows out on track. We're seeing it again today as he tries to win for the first time this season.
Absolutely. These guys here are battling pretty hard. These spots here, 20 to go, they're not as easy to make passes anymore. Everyone's battling, and if you're Daniel Hemrick, right now you have the 54 pressure in you. But look at all the cars behind him as the 2 hits the wall. Look at them all behind him. You don't want to fall back into that. He's got to try to maintain that clean-ish air that he has. He's not going to. The 54 finally laid it to him.
Yeah, and then once you get up there, you're on skates, right? And then they just start rallying by. We're seeing it, 54, 16. The 2 is there. The 1 is there.
Daniel's fought a good fight here to hold on to what he's had, and I don't think he's done fighting.
Allmendinger went by in the 16. The 1 is Sam Mayer. 2 is Sheldon Creed.
Sam Mayer in that 1. And we talked about during the commercial break what could have been. It's such a fast car as he's able to round the top there.
Watch Sheldon Creed in the 2.
Yep, that's right where the track unloads.
Yeah.
You know, you got all that banking, really pushing down the car, giving you grip, but then you come up out of the corner and it's the opposite. You get kind of a jump effect, and if you're not pointing in the right direction at that point of the corner, you just lunge into the wall.
You know, at Talladega, that they have painted on the wall, this is Talladega. Right there where he popped the wall, it should say, this is Dover, right?
Yeah.
That monster right there.
Going to see the 2 car maybe make a little contact with the 11 here. Ooh, I think the 11's pretty loose. I don't know if he even really needed contact to get looser.
Well, and with 17 to go, I mean, it's blood in the water, right?
Yeah, when you see a car sideways, Brad, you know how it is. If you show your hand on what you got going on, it's, well, I know what I got to do to pass him. You know,
just get right up on him.
That's it. And it makes you a very vulnerable car, very easy to pass. That's what Daniel's going through right now. This is why we said it was so important for him to hold off Ty Gibbs as long as he could, because as soon as he got back into this with a loose car, you got your hands full.
Brandon Jones now through. Riley Herbst next in line. We tell the Herbst story. Was 5th, made that pit stop when everybody else stayed out, got fuel only.
I still think it was a great gamble, Adam.
Yeah.
I think it was a great gamble. You got a team here who's fighting for a playoff spot really hard. They're not out of the playoffs, but they're just above the cut line. And, you know, you want to get that win and lock yourself in, and took a shot at it. So I respect it.
And it might, at the end of the day, net them 4 or 5 spots in the wrong direction. But the history of this race says we can have that long green flag run, and you never know unless you roll the dice.
I'd take that risk all day.
And they knew they had a car that was probably not going to win anyway, right? I mean, they were 6th, 7th place car pretty much throughout the early portion of the race.
It's easy to do that when you have a 6th to 10th place car. Oh, what do I got to lose? Now, when you're winning the race and that opportunity's in front of you, it's a lot harder to take that gamble.
And you see, wow, Daniel Hemrick is really holding on. I got to imagine he is feeling it. I mean, broken foot, car's not driving that well. This is not a fun day.
But I'll say this, you know, he's had a run of bad luck. Average finish this year for our defending champion, north of 18. With the broken foot, if he can start outside the top 15 and rally for a top 10, I think that's a step in the right direction for this 11.
Absolutely. Right now, he's asking his spotter when he's not catching his breath from being loose, how many laps to go?
Yeah,
how many?
Longest 11 laps in his life here.
Yes.
As he tries to hold on to a top 10, it's going to be hard for him to do that. It's Ryan Sieg. You see right behind this battle is going to join it here quickly.
The end of a race like Dover, whether it's the Cup race or the Xfinity race, is like that last set working out. And like just one more set, one more rep. Like, yeah, but I'm already gassed. And he's trying to find
Look at that thing just rotate by itself in the center. Not fun.
Whoa, hold on, Daniel.
This is where Days of Thunder is wrong, boys and girls. That's too loose.
Clear the slow one, another slow line down the back.
And just like you said, everybody's picking on him. They get to his left rear, make him even looser. They kind of disrupt the airflow as it goes over the car. And ooh.
Whoa, I had a moment there.
Great battle here for 10th. Everybody wants to get that top 10 at the end of the race.
Absolutely.
Something you can brag about.
Everyone wants to get that stat.
10 laps to go at Dover.
Junior Motorsports having themselves a day.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now. 1, 2, 3, and 5.
You know, they have 1, 2, 3 sweep at the front of the field. It happened Las Vegas last September. Guess who won that race? And boy, we spoke
as
too
soon
soon.
as you say
yeah,
that.
I know. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dale
Josh
Jr.
Berry won the race.
Still a good day. I think he's going to be
You
okay.
won here for Junior, so that's okay,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Brad?
I ruined it, but no, still having a great day here. Justin Allgire kind of nipping at the heels. Nice recovery for everything he's been looking for.
And Josh Berry's just done a good job. Very solid today, right? He had a good car, and he's executed very well. That's the difference. In my mind, the difference between the 8 and the 7 in this race was execution in the race, because those cars are so equally matched. And done a good job at making his car better, right? The 7 was obviously the best car in the race to start, and as the race has gone, the 8's gotten maybe a little bit better.
And what's the one thing Barry does not want right now?
A yellow.
A yellow.
Yeah.
And you got the best friends right here. These two have had some history early in the race.
I think they'll play nice here, Joey. What do you think?
No.
No.
Hey, with Sam Mayer back to the top 5, Junior Motorsports has 4 cars in the top 5. Only one time in the history of the Xfinity Series has an organization put 4 cars in the top 5. It was Joe Gibbs Racing at Darlington 2013. So JRM in historic territory here with 5 laps remaining, and the advantage for Berry over Allgire 1 second.
I'll tell you what I liked that I saw to Josh Berry today that I think he deserves a lot of credit for. He had the 2 kind of very close calls with his teammate Justin Allgire on the restarts where he saved it. I thought those were super impressive. And when he made the pass for the lead on Justin Allgire here just a little bit ago, 40, 50 laps ago, and it started with him moving up the racetrack, finding a groove that worked, and then just making the perfect move in traffic. And I want to make sure he gets the credit he deserves for that, because you know, obviously he's got a great car and a great team, but give him credit too for going out there and driving his butt off and making some good moves.
Absolutely.
You know, and they started the year great. 4 of the last 5 races for Berry, they found themselves outside the top 10, so they just had not been getting the finishes they deserve. But today, Mike Bumgarner and the team putting him in position, and the next time around he'll see 2 laps remaining, 2 miles away from his first win of the 2022 campaign.
Clear about 12 when you get to 13.
Just hoping for no caution right here. You got a second lead. Just wanted to just see that white flag.
Yeah, I'm sitting 6th in points. A win, of course, big marker to get yourself locked into them playoffs.
Clear about 10 when you get to the next one.
Here comes Josh Berry off the turn 4. And he'll see the white flag this time around. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Came onto the scene last year as a part-timer. He earned this full-time ride with wins at Martinsville and Las Vegas. Great friends with Dale Jr. And he'll get to celebrate with the boss man tonight. 3rd win of his career, 1st of 2022. Josh Berry does it at Dover.
Nice job. Hell of a job, man.
Great job, guys. Felt a little tight there, but I ran it just for as long as we had for laps.
I love that he's talking about the handling of the car after he's won the race.
You know who cares? Nobody.
Nobody, that's right.
Nobody cares about the handling of your car. You just won.
Come get you a checkered flag, Josh.
He wins the race, and his teammate gets $100,000. Noah Gregson, 4th today, the best of those going for the Dash for Cash.
It's a good day for Junior Motorsports. Race win, an extra $100K. Donuts, they should be doing 2 sets of donuts at this point.
Yes. I think there is another set of donuts. It's going on at Dale Jr.'s house
there
right now. Yeah.
Dale Jr. tweeted late in the race.
They are.
It's never dull being an owner in the Xfinity Series. But what a great day for his organization this afternoon. 4 of the top 5. And the best of the bunch, Josh Berry.
Credit to Sam Mayer as well. 2 penalties, one for a loose wheel, one for speeding, and still was able to recover today and drive up to a 5th place finish.
Absolutely.
For Junior Motorsports, that is now their 5th Dover win with 4 different drivers. Brad did it. Our guy Regan Smith did it. Of course, 2 wins for Justin Allgire, and now Josh Berry.
The Alan Kawicki backwards.
I like it.
Lap. Very cool.
And Noah Gragson, as we said, wins the $100,000. He's now won it 5 times. That matches Elliott Sadler for the most in the history of the series. And lately, it's been all Junior Motorsports or Colleague Racing when it comes to winning the money. $600,000 apiece in the last 3 years of competition. We talk about this being a team effort, and it certainly was here today. You talk about pit road execution, the adjustments to the car across the board. Everybody with this 8 team earned the victory.
Solid job all the way through. All the way through. He's going to roll away, though. He might want to put it in gear. That might be the one. There's the one mistake Josh Berry made all day.
We'll give him that one.
Should be proud of that win.
And the family is there waiting on him.
Oh.
Nothing like winning with your kids at the track.
No, they don't understand, but one day they will. Joey, we've been there.
Why are you crying?
Yes.
Congratulations from Noah Gragson down to Jamie Little.
And Josh Berry last year just came out like a rocket. First time ever here, finished 2nd. How have you been able to figure this monster mile out and find victory lane in your 2nd try?
Oh my gosh, I think if you watch that back, you'll think, man, I look like a weapon at the beginning. I struggled a lot on the bottom on the restarts and just, I don't know, just kept trying to work and get better. And it's just such a credit to these guys. They stayed after me, kept me in it. The pit crew did a phenomenal job today. They executed when we needed it. And we were there when it counted, man. I just, both times I raced here, man, I went toe-to-toe with Justin the whole time. He is so freaking good here. And gosh, I thought he was kind of out of it after that pit stop, and then he's right back to 2nd. I'm like, here we go again. But man, I'm so happy for Tire Pros. All their dealers across the country, they've been a huge supporter of mine since we started this, and I'm so excited to finally get them in victory lane. Harrison's USA, Danny Harrison, I know you're watching. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Jarrett Logistics, HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet. Oh man, Josh Wise, Scott Speed, Dan, for everything you've done over the off season and making me a better driver and helping me improve. So this is a great day.
Josh Berry is your winner at Dover.
Josh Berry's teammate Justin Allgire comes home in 2nd today. Justin, has to seem a little bit about a what could have been type of day for you here.
Yeah, it's just disappointing when you kind of feel like you gave one away. We felt like that last run there we were really good. But this team, I said it before the race, Junior Motorsports brings super, super fast Camaros here to Dover and to do 1, 2, 4, 5 with all 4 of our Camaros. So I'm proud of our team. We wanted to get Door Bomber Clear and Dirty Mo Media into victory lane, but the string of bad luck that we've had, I feel like today was a good thing, but just came up a little bit short. But happy for Josh, happy for all of our teams here at Junior Motorsports, and we'll regroup and go next week.
Thanks, Justin.
He was leading on that final restart last week, runs out of gas at Talladega. Today finishes 2nd. That's his 5th runner-up finish since his last win that came a year ago at Darlington. And he's 2nd to his teammate, Josh Berry, who's celebrating at the Monster Mile. For the third time in his career, Josh Berry celebrating victory in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And the big check goes to his teammate Noah Gragson. Jamie Little.
Record-tying fifth time that Noah Gragson now wins the $100,000. All right, Noah, what are you going to do with it? $100,000 richer.
Just give it to this number 9 Bass Pro Shop team, the pit crew, and Luke Lambert and the rest of the boys. They work so hard, and my share will divide it up and give it to them. But just so thankful they sacrificed so much and their families. So appreciate everybody back at Junior Motorsports. What a day for the entire company. 4 cars in the top 5. Congrats to Josh and the 8 team for their win. We're just too loose. They're getting in the corner all day, landing and just chattering the right rear. Just couldn't be aggressive with it getting into the corner. And finally, we made some good adjustments. The Bass Pro Shop pit crew guys, they did a great job on the pit stops, and just came up short there. But from where we were a majority of the day, probably 8th to 10th, to come back and finish within the top 5, I'm satisfied with it. Great power by the Hendrick engine shop. My car was as fast as Xfinity internet, and definitely had a blast. Appreciate all the fans, but heck yeah, I feel like Happy Gilmore with these things. It's awesome.
Congratulations, and the team loves it too, Regan.
Well, Jamie, it was a solid day for Ty Gibbs. Ty, looked like you guys just kept working and getting a little bit better all day long as it went on. Finally got that 3rd place at the end.
Yeah, I feel like we had a very fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra, almost as fast as the Xfinity Wi-Fi, but my guys never gave up and they kept working, and we're a little bit off there. I just feel like we need to make a little bit more adjustments to where we could stay with the 8 and the 7. Congrats to Josh, and hopefully we can go next week. And I feel like Darlington's a good place. I threw it away there last year, but hopefully we have a shot to win there this year.
Thanks, Ty.
Thank you, Regan. Nice day for Ty Gibbs, who comes home in the 3rd position. We got to start this conversation with Josh Berry. He's the 6th driver in a row to win here that's been different, right? Last 6 races here, 6 different winners. What they all have in common, that season, they went on to the championship 4. He showed some championship form today.
He did. He ran a great race, really smart race, was able to use all the lanes, and I got to give him a tremendous amount of credit for being able to execute on so many different levels, some great competition today. His teammates being the best competition, he certainly made it happen.
I think today, yes, Josh Berry did great. I give a big thumbs up to Goodyear. This track was awesome. It's one of the best Dover races we've seen in a long time. The track was very wide. Track took a lot of rubber, and it forced drivers to move around, make mistakes, slip and slide, have a little bit of fall off, a little bit of strategy in there. I thought the race was incredible today.
Absolutely. Lots of passing action throughout the field all day. This was a great Dover race.
Great day for Junior Motorsports. 4 cars inside the top 5. Justin Allgire, second. That's his 5th runner-up finish since his last win. How much frustration there?
Well, second places, I mean, you don't like second place, but here's the thing about second place, Adam. You finish second a lot, you get some wins out of it. So he's certainly knocking on the door and starting to turn his season around.
And if anyone can handle it, it's Justin Allgaier. I got to talk to him before the race. He has his priorities in line. He understands that that's just how racing is sometimes. But you can't get past it. It's a punch in the gut, man. You're that close. You got a car that can win, and a couple bad pit stops keeps you out of being in position. He had a great last run. You know, if he was just in front of the 8, he probably would have won. He hung with him that whole last run, restarting in the 5th spot.
His last win coming 1 season ago at Darlington. That's where we go next week. Before we get to next week, let's go to tomorrow. 400 miles. How do you attack the monster?
Oh, gosh, with the next-gen car, this is the last true test for this car. A lot of things we're going to learn about it this weekend, how it's going to play out on one of the toughest tracks on the circuit, the Monster Mile. Big corner loads, big corner speeds, and we're going to put it to the full test tomorrow.
Well, a lot of cars crashed in practice is what I saw. So hopefully we can keep the old Shell Penzo Mustang going straight. And I think it's going to be an execution day. I think it may be challenging to move our way up through the field. So we're going to have to be perfect on pit road, perfect on restarts, those type of things, and get ourselves in position.
Just follow me, Joe. You're starting right behind me.
My plan is to pass you in the first
corner. Follow me all
the
way through to the front with my Kohler Ford. So
play nice, okay? Play nice. Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks.
And our coverage tomorrow starts 2 o'clock Eastern time here on FS1 with race day. We're going green right around 3 o'clock Eastern time. Next up for the Xfinity Series, we're racing in Darlington next Saturday. You can watch it on FS1. It's over in Dover. Congratulations to Josh Berry. Thanks to everyone for our NASCAR on Fox coverage with Regan Smith, Jamie Little, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. I'm Adam Alexander. We appreciate you watching. Congratulations, Josh Berry. It's time for Major League Baseball on FS1, the Angels and White Sox.
Let's go! We are the ones at the top of the mountain, climb tighten the buckle. One with the right crowd that likes to rumble. Hold a nice crown, it's hard to be humble. We welcome you now to our arena. If you don't know by now, it's hard to beat us. You can tell by our demeanor how hard we leaning. Leave a lasting impression on who is the best, and there won't be a question. You will